Yeah.
There's got to be a way.
You could even play it in the background too.
Well, hello, boys and girls. It's when we feel like it o'clock. I'm Perloism, and this is Peyton on the radio. The prize. The prize is in the house. And yeah, we have a guest today. So you guys behave. Guys behave. Don't go just mistreating Peyton now. Uh, so we were talking before about hockey like we often do. And
hmm
hello, by the way, Go Caps and whoever else. We got 5 people in here. Make yourself known so we know who you are. But hi, y'all. By the way, I just hit 700 subscribers yesterday.
Woo!
Woo! Really good. I put in my video, I'm almost at 700, and then everybody started subscribing. I guess I got to do that more.
Yeah, that's what I always do.
Hmm.
Is tell people like, hey, I'm on the road to 500. Make sure you slap that subscribe button, and usually
Yeah.
it brings it up a little
Got
bit.
to hit a grand so we can bring in that fancy scratch, right? Yeah. Everybody head over to
Heck yeah.
Peyton's too. Peyton on the radio. He's got great stuff. Where he does play-by-play just as well
hmm
as the goat. Even though he's not the goat, he's the prize though. So that's about the same. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah. Were we thinking about doing one together somewhere this week or something?
I think so. I don't know if it was whether the Sunday one or the tomorrow's game. I know tomorrow's game will be pretty late. I'm doing the Wild versus Knights tomorrow night at 8:30 Mountain Time, which should be a fun one. And then I'm doing one on Friday with my buddy Calvin for the Battle of Alberta, and then Sunday I'm doing the Carolina versus Dallas game at 5:30 Mountain Time as well. So
Maybe
it should be a
that's
fun
it.
weekend.
Maybe,
I think that's the one that you were talking
maybe we'll
about.
see how that goes. Yeah, thanks, Hockey News Reports.
Hey, bud.
We hit 1,000. So we were well before we got on here. We might as well continue talking about that kid Robertson. I just love that guy.
Oh, yeah, I'm not able to look at his analytics, but the way that he's been playing this year, I haven't gotten too much time to watch the Dallas Stars, which is why I'm really excited to do the commentary on the game this weekend, and to watch a little bit of Jason Robertson. Only getting 15 minutes of ice time, having 22 points right off the get-go in his first season. He's a very underrated player. Not a lot of people are talking about him in the NHL right now, and I mean the Dallas Stars are not doing too well this year, but Jason Robertson's going to just be a very big spotlight for that team, a very big highlight for the Dallas Stars.
Oh yeah, I mean, he reminds me a little bit of Stone. The way his intensity and the way he plays, the confidence and the look on his eye, like while he plays, I just love it. Like Stone. Like I'm kicking
Yeah,
your guys' ass today. I don't know if you're aware of that, but you're about to be. I love it. I love guys like Jason Robertson. He's his whole persona on the ice is absolutely fantastic. Um,
yeah.
uh, was it Perry had that says that? There's guys like that. As Oilers fans, we don't Cassian tries, but he's not the guy that you need to be like that. We could really use some.
I think it's like a Pulley Pulley is a perfect
He,
example of somebody like Jason Robertson. It's just he's not able to put up the points that Jason Robertson's putting up right now.
but the thing I love about Pulley Harvey is he's just always smiling.
And not just that, Puljujärvi's two-way game has been amazing
Yeah,
this
yeah,
season.
yeah.
I think Puljujärvi's been one of our best defensive forwards on the team, but for Josh Archibald and Gaetan Haas, I think Jesse Puljujärvi's just been a real big insert into the Edmonton Oilers lineup, especially with that smile. I mean, he makes me smile every single
Yeah,
day.
yeah, and that's one thing I do got to say. And I know we're not on the same page with Tippett. I still think Tippett is a great coach, but he does things very
Mm,
uh, unconventional. He does things. He tries to build belief in his team. So he does things where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, you shouldn't do that. But statistics wise, but he's a guy that goes, okay, I believe in my team that they can go against statistics here and win this. So he does things very weird. But when it comes playoff time, those
Mm-hmm.
people believe in themselves. So I'm going to reserve judgment for Tippett until playoff time because he does do like lineup changes or non-lineup changes in very odd ways that I can only imagine you could figure out if you were in the
See,
room. Now, when he was there in Arizona, uh, he brought a lot of Arizona teams there that should never have made it, though.
no, and you know what? I don't mind Tippett. I don't think like his lineup combinations are a little bit weird at some moments of time, and I think that's mostly because maybe McDavid wants to play alongside a Nuge or Cahoon wants to play alongside a Dry. I've also was reading some stuff. Maybe the lineup combinations are to do with maybe playing Nuge on a different line, so maybe you lower his contract. So when you have to sign him this upcoming season, you don't have to pay him as much money. Same with Yamamoto. Maybe they will, use him in the right spots once it comes to playoff time. I did see the dry line tonight, or the other night against the Canadians, even though we did lose pretty hard there. I think Tippett. I love him, but I dislike him at the same time. It's a love and hate relationship with Tippett. Sometimes I believe he's a really good coach. Some other times he out coaches himself.
Well, this is the same thing that was always said about in Arizona as well about Tippett. He does things that make you wonder why. But like I said,
Hmm.
when you look back on it, you kind of get a better understanding of what he was doing. And really, what
Yeah.
the best coaches do is they build belief in their players, and that's what he does.
Yeah.
He's going to force you to believe in yourself. He's going to put you in
Hmm.
situations where you're like, hey, he shouldn't. Like for instance, we'll get into it when we talk about the game, but we'll talk about it because we already talked about it a little bit beforehand. Go Caps is asking how about those Habs. Yeah, we'll be talking about that right away. Go Caps, no doubt about it. It was pretty impressive what the Habs did last night. Let me tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Uh,
It was.
CL, welcome CL. Awesome, glad to have you here. Um, so well, on that note, we might as well. We're going to talk a lot about it, so we might as well get right over. How many games we got tonight? Five, right?
I think yeah, just five
Can you
tonight.
hear
Yeah.
that alarm in the background?
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit. Yeah.
it's Hernandez and Melissa are backing up the Perlocopters there. So yeah,
They're getting the Perlo ready to
yeah,
go.
we went and purchased a couple extra ones. Now that I'm at 700 subscribers, we gotta we gotta get rolling here a little more. We got a lot more going out. Good afternoon. Hey now is in the house. He was in the
Hey,
chat
bud.
last night for the was it Chicago Canes game for the
Yeah, I
goat.
did see him there.
Yeah, well,
Hockey news report, please. No, I don't want a Lucic Flames custom made hat,
I'll
or is it a Flames jersey? Oh, hat. I don't need one,
tell you
please.
what. If the Flames make the playoffs this year, I'll wear one.
I'll buy a Lucic jersey if the Flames make it to the
We'll
playoffs.
both wear Lucic jerseys if the Flames make the playoffs this year. You gotta hear.
I'll do a live stream on the Flames being in the playoffs, and I'll wear a Flames jersey.
Yeah, there you go. Now you got it. uh,
I bet they won't, but
No, they're not making the playoffs. There's no bloody way they're making the playoffs. Daryl Sutter is in there to basically came in there to find out who the riffraff was and clean house. They had no business. They know that that lineup's not making the playoffs this year, or even if
oh,
they
no
do, they're
way.
not going anywhere. Daryl Sutter's
Yeah,
was gone in there to be a an axe man. Who are we axing?
yeah,
Pretty much.
yeah.
That's what that's all
That's the
about.
way I see it. You're going to see a lot of players. You're going to see a really different Flames team, I think, this upcoming off season. I think there's going to be a lot of changes, especially with Sutter being there. I feel like he's going to affect a lot of changes going forward with that squad because, I mean, the Flames, they look dysfunctional right now. They don't look the team like what they are. I mean, we're going to be talking about them later on as tonight. I think they're going up against the Canucks. So we'll see how well they do against them.
Yeah. We'll see. I have no. I mean, we'll talk about that. Yeah. Uh, so let's get to the games, and we'll talk. We might as well just go right into the games here. First of all, we had the game we were just talking about. I got to bring them up on my score though.
The
I'm gonna
Oilers
do a little
versus the
thing too,
Canadians.
where we'll talk about this, where the standings. The Oilers had an opportunity to jump ahead of Winnipeg, although 2 games in hand last night, and weren't able to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Montreal now is 6 points back of the Oilers with 5 games in hand. So
Yeah.
we can't be Edmonton can't be resting on their laurels there. They got to. Those are, I just thought that was. We'll talk about it now. I thought that was a game that they really could have had because that should have been a rusty Montreal team. They really all they needed to do was get their legs moving early, and I would.
Yeah.
You know what? If you're going to put the same roster out there, as far as I'm concerned, and do what he did,
Mm-hmm.
why not stick with Smith too? Yeah.
Well, the thing that I mean, Smith went back to back, so I don't think it would have been a great idea. Koskinen, I mean, played good. He just didn't get bailed out by his team. And I think a
I
big
don't
thing that
think he
we
played
noticed
well.
this year too is when teams take kind of a bigger break, I think they come back red hot, right? Like the Oilers, when they went up, they took that week break and we came up against the Leafs. I felt like, we were faster out there. You could definitely see it. Now, yes, we did lose that game, but there was definitely a little bit of more of a jump in the Oilers skates against Toronto, or yeah, against Toronto on Saturday there, and you've seen it on Monday as well. So the rest does, I think, help the teams out, which I think what happened with Montreal. You watched that game and you seen the Oilers looked gassed the entire game. McDavid looked like he was frustrated out there. There was a lot of missed calls that could have been called, and I've been seeing that all weekend long with the officiating. I've not been really happy with it too much, especially with McDavid getting fined $5,000 there for the elbow in there on Konkananami.
That was an
And
elbow, dude.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying that it wasn't an elbow. I think he definitely does deserve a fine, but I think there needs to be a more better officiating because the amount of trips that I see out on the ice that don't get called and the refs is looking at it is crazy. And it's not just saying that elbowing penalty that McDavid took might have not have happened if the refs just call the game the way that it is and actually call the penalties that should be. Now, definitely not blaming the refs on the Oilers' loss last night because honestly, that was the Oilers being the Oilers. Darnell Nurse looked like crap. Tyson Barrie actually got a lot less minutes in that game too. Thankfully, he only played 14. I thought Larson played probably one of his better games, but even then, the entire team just was not there last night. We weren't playing very well defensively. Tippett didn't change up the lineups, which I thought he should have done. I think we should have maybe thrown in Cahoon or Chase on to just get some new fresh legs in the lineup, especially going up against the Canadians team who took a week off and was probably going to be pretty well rested. But I mean, it is what it is. I think we'll bounce back. It's one rough game. McDavid said it in the press conference. Either we could think about it for a long time or dwell on it, or we could move on and look towards the next game, which I think is what the Oilers are going to
Well,
do.
I did like what he said there, but first we're gonna see what was the score again? It was
For nothing
4-0.
Canadians.
I don't think anybody had 4-0 here. No, Avatar Avatar had the Oilers. Who had Serrano had the Habs 4-3. That was the closest one, and Brack had the Habs 3-2. That was pretty close. But I had the
Yeah.
Oilers 3-2. Bridgman, Sasha had the Oilers 3-2. Bridgman 4-3. So nobody got the game last night. Okay, my take on this is I do capping for a living, so I do watch the teams that haven't played in a while and come
Hmm.
in and play, and it actually in general has not been to the benefit really usually, but last night with Montreal, I will say that there's another aspect of that game that I gotta watch. Is I think it's very possible that Carey Price was a little bit injured so far this year, and
I think
that
so
that
too.
15 games
I mean,
that
he didn't
15
face a
days
lot of
that 15
shots.
days off is he looked better though, didn't he?
He did look a little bit better, but he definitely didn't face a lot of
No.
shots. Only 17
That's
shots, and they weren't really high tempo chances either. So we'll have to see once he faces 30, 40 shots in a game and when they're really high quality opportunities. We'll have to see if Price is healthy. But I mean, that's been the fact with Carey Price over the past couple of years is he healthy? Is he fully healthy? Is he ready to go? And I mean, we've seen the numbers over the past couple of years. He's been up and down. So, I mean, I hope for the best for Carey Price, but he's getting up there in that age where goalies usually start to decline around this age, especially for a goalie like Carey Price who's been carrying the Montreal Canadiens for a long time now. Usually they start falling back down. But I know they did hire Sean Burke there for the Montreal Canadiens, and they've probably been doing a lot of work with Carey Price over the past week, so that probably helped them out as
Yeah,
well.
Sean Burke. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was a game where the Oilers just got spanked pretty well. I just really think that in this situation, I don't like the excuse of the back to back when you're playing against a rusty team, and I say that in the sense that I believe Edmonton can be a championship team. And
Hmm.
those sort of things, when those sort of losing to Montreal is one thing. Losing the way they lost to Montreal is another thing altogether. And yeah, I
Well,
don't think you
here
should dwell on it, but I do want to hear people say we can become the type of team where that seldom happens. And I don't, and
also,
so far Edmonton's not that team. That's the thing.
yeah,
It happens too much.
no, no, we're still we don't got the team to do it yet. But also another question I have for you, since you watch a lot of the games, how well did teams do on a back to back against a really well team?
Not 15 days rested. It's a different thing altogether. If it's like 2 or 3 days, maybe okay, back to backs, you're
Yeah.
gonna probably lose that game. 15 games though, that's different. Even three is pushing it,
Hmm.
honestly. Minnesota just had that. Minnesota had 3 games off, and then played San Jose, and they looked like they were off. It also depends on what type of game you play too, right? Minnesota is a very pass orientated, passing all the time type
Yeah.
team, right? So maybe one way I might have missed and maybe give Montreal a little, because Montreal's not that. It's kind of dumping
Hmm.
chases,
Yeah.
so sort of like that. So in that
It's a really
way,
chippy
they
game.
probably had sort of an advantage in that way. But it depends on the team. A team like Minnesota struggles when even they have 3 or 4 days off because they're very pass orientated, move the puck around a lot, and if you're off even a little bit, that can be difficult, right?
Yeah, I think so, especially with Montreal's speed. I think you watch the game and you've seen how fast the Canadians were compared to the Oilers. Like they were winning every puck
Yeah.
battle and absolutely beating McDavid and Draisaitl. Draisaitl and McDavid looked tired. Darnell Nurse looked tired because the night before he played 28 minutes and played 25 minutes in this game.
Mm-hmm.
The Oilers were tired, and I think there's no way like Jack had just put it there, they were 12-2 on back to backs for the Edmonton Oilers, and I think it was just an off night for the Edmonton Oilers.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no other way to put in it. They just looked exhausted. They'll bounce back. It was a rough one, and you know these types of games happen for big teams like this. The Oilers don't have the depth yet. I mean, the depth is developing, and we're getting better, but we still don't have the depth to be a championship team, and it showed in this game because usually when your stars are tired, you're supposed to have that depth step up big time, and we didn't have the depth step up big time in this game. It's been struggling a little bit.
Yeah, I still think we have issues in that area for depth and stuff like that.
I
Um,
think it's going to grow, especially with how well the AHL team has been doing down there in
yeah,
Bakersfield with Benson and Maradu
I,
and McLeod. I'm excited about those
I
kids.
sure hope so. Merity. But so we'll talk about one more thing and before we head off to another one. Did McDavid have no shots at all?
No, he did not. He had no shots at all last
What?
night.
That's got to be. That's crazy. That
Yeah,
is
he had a rough night last
crazy.
night.
Wow. Uh, what I got to say that they put Turris was scratched and he was on a conditioning stint. So, and then he comes back and they play him, and we were talking about it like, what? They're putting Turris up there? But it's starting to unravel now what Turris's problem has been ever since he got his 6 mil. He hasn't been putting in the work. By the way, Carter Hart's having the same thing right now in Philadelphia. We'll talk about that in a little while.
Yeah.
Um, so which you can slam people all they want. You give me $6 million for the next 5 years. I don't care if I'm a hockey player or not. Knowing me, I would probably get distracted away from the gym a little more often than I should myself. So hopefully, hopefully tourists is gets they can get all. Sometimes that's one way where I think a lot of really good teams kind of micromanage a little bit. You're paying players that much money. You really should be, as an organization, making sure that they're getting to the gym. Like that's
Mhm.
something that needs to be. And Nashville seemed to be a little weak in that area. And now he came here, and Edmonton said, "Okay, that's enough of this. You're too soft. We're
I
gonna
think
work your
also
butt off."
another reason why we put him back in the lineup, I think what I was reading, and now this is sort of just speculation, and sort of my thought as well. Tourist maybe because we put him up on the second line, maybe as a showcase for trade deadline,
Yeah,
because we definitely do need to trade cap in and cap out if we were to make a deal for just about any player. Because the fact we don't have any salary cap in Edmonton, so if we were to trade away someone to pick up a third liner, we would have to trade away Kyle Turris or a Chase on or whoever down lower down in the lineup to get some salary off the team. So. Maybe it was a showcase. Turris actually didn't play that bad, honestly, on the second line with Nuge and Yamamoto. And honestly, I think players have to work out and keep themselves conditioned. And if they don't, they'll definitely fall down.
yeah,
And I think with teams, I think they should push them to work out a little bit
yeah.
more,
I think they have a right. I think
especially
they have a right to. They're paying them a
right.
crap loads of money. That's part of
Yeah,
your job.
it's your job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of your job. You should be working out. You should be getting ready to, and it is, Jack had said, yeah, it is rare cases that you don't see a lot of players work out because a lot of players like to work for that spot. But once you kind of get older, like Terse is, do you really care about it? You're making the money, right? You just got bought out. You're making 2 million for the next, what, 8 years now?
Mm-hmm.
You're making easy money. And I don't know. If I was Terse, I would probably just go and sit at home.
Probably, yeah. That's why I'm not judging the dude because I probably would have been the same way. But I would have been a person too, though, that like Gary Roberts. He's pretty well known for his conditioning and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I've heard him say that darn rights. Of course, he has skin in the game because he makes money helping people do that. But um, he said if I was a manager of a team, I would have it would be written in the contract what you have
Hmm.
to do as your minimum to be in condition for us for the sport.
Hmm.
And I don't blame him for that. I agree with that. You're paying a lot of money. It's your job. It's your job to stay in shape. So,
Yeah.
anyways, just imagine. Remember when what's his name played for us that we got from Anaheim? He was
Oh,
horrible.
Whitney.
No, not Whitney. Although Whitney, I don't think was in the greatest shape either.
Oh, Surrey.
No, the winger that we got from Anaheim and the
Oh,
Proverbs.
Penner.
Penner.
Dustin Penner.
Dustin Potts.
Oh God, he was
He
so
was such a
lazy.
doughboy. It was crazy.
He popped off and got that 30 goals that 1 year in Edmonton and just went downhill. I don't know what he was doing, but man, he's your stereotypical hockey boy for sure,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
yeah, absolutely. And then people like Kessel get away with it, which is crazy. But
But Kessel scored his goals,
I
so
know, but that's the thing. Like, how does he get away with it like that? Remember the old Theoren Fleury? I mean, all of those guys, more of those guys back in those days. But Theoren Fleury was an alcoholic his whole career. The guy drank beer every day, and he had 100 and some points. Like, just imagine if
mhm.
that guy would have been sober. Holy crap!
I know,
Oh,
right?
what a freak of nature that guy was. Anyways, okay, let's get to the next game.
The Boston New Jersey game.
Yeah. By the way, that I would have liked to seen us pony up a third for Brandon Lemieux.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I like Brendan Lemieux, but I don't think he would fit the Oilers, especially right now. We have too many guys that hit. We have Kara, we have Cassian, we have too many guys that are like Lemieux. And I would rather have a guy that is speedier that could play up on the top wing with McDavid. That's what
I think
we
he could
need right
pop
now.
points, though. I think he could. I'd like to give him. We'll
I
see.
think
We'll
right
see
in the
what he
mid,
does
but
in LA. We'll see what he does in
yeah,
LA. I have a feeling he's going to do really well
but that's the LA system. I don't know if he would work in
there. Yeah.
maybe he would work in Tippett's system, but we do have a lot of big hitters, and I don't think we need too much more.
Okay, we'll agree to disagree. Okay, next game. Crazy, crazy game.
Yeah,
Uh,
shout out to Mackenzie Blackwood. He's insane.
he is insane. He came back from injury and he was a little rough there for a couple games and now he's right back where he was before. Crazy. Bruins 5-4. We'll look at the scores here first. I don't think
Hmm.
anybody had that. The closest was Bridgman. He had 5-3. Very close.
Ooh,
5-3 Bruins. Everybody had the Bruins but Serrano, he had the Devils 4-3. Good for him. That was a nice. Oh, no, sorry. Sasha had 3-1 Devils. I thought the Bruins were really going to put it to them here, and I'm getting a little concerned about the Bruins now. How about you?
yeah. I mean, you put up 48 shots on the net and you only score four. I mean, that is pretty rough. I mean, Mackenzie Blackwood was stellar last night.
Yeah.
And we've been seeing this for a while now with the Bruins. It's just I don't know. They're just not clicking right now properly. Krejci and Smith had big nights. Richie got a couple ones. Marchand. This Bruins team they're not scoring goals this year. They're 27th in goals for this year. They're a great defensive team, but when you're asking them to pot a couple goals, they're not doing that. And it just feels like you look at that depth. The only people that are above 10 goals right now is Bergeron, Pasternak, Marchand, and Richie, and that's it. You have one guy that's at 5 goals, and that's Coyle and Smith with six as well, and then it's just a bunch of randos only scoring 2-1 goals. It's not looking very good there in Boston right now. Fourth in the division with Philly being right behind you. I know Philly's been struggling a little bit as well, but we all know the Rangers have been kind of catching a spark as well with Spinajad absolutely popping off the last couple games. But it's weird what's going on in Bruinsville right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with not having Rask. There's something about Rask in that lineup that really affects the whole energy of that team. Um,
Yeah.
Halak isn't. I mean, Halak didn't have the greatest night last night. Blackwood. Eventually, they got through to Blackwood. Maybe that is sort of like the confidence a few of them need, but depth scoring for Boston has been an issue now for quite some time. They haven't.
Yeah.
They really need somebody who they can count on for goals below that top line. And it's almost got to the point now where it seems like that top line is starting to fade
Hmm.
because everybody knows you take out the top line from Boston, you got a chance, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that top line's been dominant for Boston. It's kind of like, you look at the Oilers, you see when they put Draisaitl and McDavid alongside of each other, and then you look at the rest of the lineup, you're like, oh, that's definitely kind of not great. And that's the way you're kind of looking at with the Boston Bruins right now, right? I mean, they picked up Craig Smith to be, a big goal scorer. He's only scored 6 goals this year. And that's what is kind of expected out of Craig Smith, anyways, for being a third line guy. He's only going to pot you, probably 15 goals for you this year. Um, and that's the big thing. I mean, you're missing some big players in Andre Kasha, who's supposed to be a guy that's supposed to pot a couple goals for you, but now he's only played 2 games and he's been missing most of this season. As a Bruins team, do you maybe go after a offensive guy
Hmm.
at a trade deadline
I
here?
think I think
Um,
unquestionably they do. I think they do for sure.
do you think of trading away Jake DeBrusk to some, other team, maybe pick up another defenseman? I mean, their defensive core is pretty good right now, but they could use another, puck moving guy for the team. A guy that would be perfect for Boston, I think. Caleb Jones. No, I don't think the Edmonton Oilers would trade Caleb Jones, but Caleb Jones would be a perfect spot, I think, for the Boston Bruins. A nice left-handed defenseman, puck moving. Um, I don't know what they need for goal scoring, but a Raquel, if they were to possibly pick up Taylor Hall, they would have to move out a lot of salary cap, but that would be a good fit for them. They just need another goal scoring guy to fit on that second line alongside of Krejci right now because Jake DeBrusk is not that guy. Nick Ritchie has been, but you need to find that other another guy to give you some more depth scoring for
Yeah.
that team right now.
Nick Ritchie is the kind of guy that is like a crease crasher or something like that. They need
Yeah,
a pure shooter, a pure
yeah,
shooter.
yeah. All
Um,
you got is Pasternak and really Smith, and that's really it.
yeah. There was talk about Palmieri in New Jersey.
Yeah,
Somebody like that would be okay, but he's not even really what you call a pure shooter. I don't know.
he's like a two-way sort of power forward type of player. That's what Kyle Palmieri, because I mean, he hits the body. He would be a perfect player, I think, for Boston because this year he has 8 goals and 17 points, which is not terrible. He hits the body a little bit. He plays a really good defensive game. Last year he put up 25 goals. If you're looking for some nice depth scoring and a cheap option, I don't think Palmieri would be a bad idea for the Boston Bruins.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea. Is what the cost is going to be. There is talk about DeBrusque in a first for a guy who you don't even know if you can sign.
No,
Uh,
I wouldn't do that. I would maybe do like maybe DeBrusque and maybe a prospect or a second or a third or something like that. Definitely not a first if you're trading away DeBrusque.
yeah,
And especially if he's a rental, Palmieri is a good second, third round pick at best. Especially since he's a rental.
uh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. It depends on how many people are going to be looking for a guy like Palmieri out there. I mean,
Yep, that as
the
well.
price could go up. Uh,
Yep.
there's like the only people I can think of. Possibly, if Calgary's really selling, you could see maybe Goudreau, but um, I don't, I don't know about that. I mean, he's not really a pure scorer either, so um, I don't see much out there. I guess we'll find out more as we get closer to playoff time and see who's out. Because you were looking at Nashville as a possibility. You
But
know,
now they're in the
now
playoffs.
they're looking like they could be very well in the playoffs. The closer these races are, the less there's going to be out there to grab. So a
Yeah.
guy like Palmieri might get a lot more value than you think. If there's a lot of tight races and nobody wants to sell, you might have to pony up quite a bit more. So um, yeah, but I think they probably will, or they may just realize, you know what, we don't got it this year. We don't got it. We're just going to roll with what we got. We just don't have it this year.
I think that's the best idea, I think, for the Bruins. You know, they need to continue building this team up for the future. You have Bergeron, who's at 35, and Marchand, who at 32. So it's up to what the Boston Bruins want to do, right? Do you want to go for it now while Bergeron and Marchand are playing their best hockey? Or do you
Yeah,
want to, take the slow approach and try to, keep building this team up and try to build around Pasternak for the future? So we'll have to see what Sweeney does. I feel like the Bruins need to go and add somebody big this year, either it be Hall or Palmieri or somebody, just because those guys are getting older. You're not going to have very much chances as a team to keep going for that cup. And I think give it give it your all. Try your best to stay in that playoff spot, especially with Philly not that far behind you. You really need to put that gear and shift.
yeah. And I'm not. I don't think Jones is really what I'd be looking at for Boston, or I think Boston will be looking at is a better way of putting it. I think they'll probably looking for more of a veteran defenseman after Chara. They've got a very young defense there. Zaboral,
Yeah,
Grizzly, they're all really young. They could really use a veteran to put to
a
so
David Savard.
Savard would be excellent. Yeah, that would be. I wouldn't even doubt. Now that you mentioned that, I wouldn't doubt at all that Boston gets Savard. I wouldn't doubt it at all.
I mean, he's number one on the trade bait board. And honestly, if Columbus if they keep playing the way that they keep playing, I mean, Savard would be a very very good defensive defenseman. He's not the worst cap hit in the world. Plus, he's a free agent this next year, so he'd be a cheap, reliable option,
Yeah,
really cheap.
yeah. I think that's a very good point. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, we let's move on to the next game that has been mentioned in the chat quite a few times because we have a
Uh,
Washington Capitals fan there.
Caps and Rangers.
Go Caps! Yeah, Caps and Rangers. Yeah.
Rangers have been
I had the rain.
hot,
I
man.
had a poor night last night as far as capping is concerned, but this one I did have. I really thought the Rangers were going to take this fairly handily, and they sure did. Mostly, I don't know about the Capitals like to have a good time, man, and it just seems like every time they go to New York, they have a bad game. It's if you like to have a good time and your coach pretty much lets you have a good time, and it seems like no matter who they have for a coach there, the players seem to rule the roost to a certain extent on the lead of Ovechkin. We saw the partying that happened when they won the cup, right? Um,
Oh,
it just seems to
heck
happen
yeah.
that way. And if you're
Hmm.
going to go off like that, New York is the place to do it. So, but I watched this game. Did you watch this game at all?
No, I was not able to watch this one.
You weren't able to watch it. Capitals
No.
actually didn't play that bad.
Oh yeah.
More Vanacek looks like he's getting tired. He's a kid. He played a lot
Oh, he's been
early.
playing so
He
much.
played a lot early. I was actually surprised they played him here. Um, and third period letdowns by Washington just seems to be starting to be a little bit of a theme for the Capitals. And in
Hmm.
general, I would say for a cup team, Washington Capitals for a cup winning team is the most undisciplined cup winning team I've ever seen.
Yeah. Uh, I think the Caps. They're a good team. They have been doing pretty well. Not so well defensively this season. Offensively, they've been great. They're definitely the partying team. It was the Ovechkin summer from what they were saying when they won the cup.
Yeah.
I don't know if this team will go very far because of the fact that their goaltending's been, sketchy with Samsonov and Venasek. Especially Venasek has been playing a lot of games this year in his first year in the NHL. Also, shout out to Adam Fox. Man, if this kid does not win a Norris Trophy in his career,
Oh,
oh,
he's going.
I
He's
I
going to.
still cannot
He's
believe
going to.
that Drew Doughty is number one in Norris Trophy votings right now by NHL.com. It's an absolute joke. Adam Fox needs to be almost on top of that leaderboard. He has 30 points in 34 games. His analytics are off the charts. Like he has been playing amazing for the New York Rangers. Funny enough, also this was a Calgary Flames player as well, ladies and gentlemen. Um, Adam Fox has just been absolutely amazing, and the way that he's playing this year is nuts. And he's gonna be probably putting up about 50 points as a defenseman in 56 games, I think, this year. And he needs to win a couple Norris trophies in his career because he should almost be on top of the leaderboards right now. Same with Kale Maker. They are amazing
Kale
players,
McCarr is
and
insane. The only reason why
oh,
Fox maybe
without a
doesn't,
doubt.
the only reason why Fox doesn't possibly win a Norris is because Kale McCarr wins them all. Sort of like what happened when
I
when
I
with
think
Brad Park way back in the day. I know that's way before
uh,
your time when Bobby Orr was playing.
yeah, yeah. I think that could be a possibility, but I think it'll flip back and forth between the two players. There's a lot of good defensemen coming up here very soon with Huskinainen and Kalemaker and
This guy,
Bachwitz. There's so many young defensemen coming into the league right now. It's amazing,
yeah,
especially the younger right-handed D-men.
yeah,
Like you got Noah Dobson in the
yeah,
Islanders, Evan Bouchard with the Oilers,
mm-hmm,
Adam Bachwitz with the Chicago Blackhawks, Jamie Drysdale's looking
yeah.
amazing. We got so many young defensemen, and as
He's in Dallas. Yeah,
especially as a young D-man like myself who really loves watching D-men play, it is a very exciting
yeah,
time to see a lot of these young defensemen coming into the league.
yeah.
And we're going to be definitely I don't know why the NHL people still think Drew Doughty is a Norris Trophy winning defenseman. When you look at his analytics, it's garbage. It's straight up garbage. Like Fox should be way higher than what Drew Doughty is without a doubt. Adam Fox has probably been one of the best defensemen in this league this year. Victor Hedman's still having a good season as well. But when you look at Adam Fox, even Adam Fox has been doing a lot better analytically than what Victor Hedman's been doing this year.
Yeah. Well, just the Tampa Bay Lightning this year. I've been talking about it for a while, and even though they won the cup, I was still like, I don't know if Cooper. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know about that team. I've been saying it for quite some time. There's something seems to be amiss there. Uh, I know we're living in a time when Quinn Hughes may never win a Norris.
Yeah,
There's and he if he was playing in most other generations or times or whatever, he would probably win at least one. But he's not.
I
He's
think
not likely going to.
no, the biggest thing for Quinn Hughes right now is he needs to improve his defensive game.
Yeah.
His defensive game is when you compare it to Kale Maker or Adam Fox or Heskinainen, his defensive game for Quinn Hughes is just not on the same level as those other defensemen. Adam Fox, you look at the defense core New York Rangers have, Adam Fox is legit the best defenseman on that team, without a doubt. And you look at, the Vancouver Canucks. The Vancouver Canucks have a lot of solid defensemen, but they're not playing very well defensively this year, and you could see it, especially Quinn Hughes. He could play a great offensive game. I give tips to that for Hughes, but when it is asked to, play that defensive game, it's definitely not the best for Quinn Hughes. But I do possibly see a lot of these players winning Norris trophies, but will Kale Maker dominate for the next decade, or will Adam Fox dominate for the next decade on that Norris Trophy list? So I guess we'll have to see if Quinn Hughes later on in the future does develop his defensive game and becomes that Norris Trophy level defenseman.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's ever going to be great at defense. I think his
Mm,
top end is like a Carlson, Washington, or something like that.
yeah, yeah,
And nothing wrong with that. But
no,
and even at that, you could win a Norris in most other eras or generations or time periods. But in this time period where you have McCarr and you have Fox and you have like you mentioned Dobson. Dobson's looking like a beast in the island on the island there. I mean, these are not just offensive players. These are two-way, incredible,
yeah.
generational Hall of Fame defensemen in the mold of like the Lidstroms and Borks and guys like that. And we have them
Hmm.
all at one time.
I
It's
know it's
crazy.
insane. Like it feels like this is the best time to look at defensemen right now since we had when Niedermeyer and Pronger and Lindstrom were all playing in the NHL. Like it really feels like we just have another huge generation of great defensemen coming into the league, and it's really exciting to watch as a fan seeing all these young defensemen coming in and especially seeing a lot of them are becoming big point producers right now, and you used to not really see that with a lot of defensemen is that big point producing. I mean, you look at the Oilers, you see Nurse up there, you see Barry. I mean, Barry's being helped carried by McDavid. You look around. I mean, there's so many great defensemen in this league right now. It's exciting to be a hockey fan, especially right now, seeing a lot of these young players coming into the league, and just the future. I mean, I cannot wait to see Shane Wright and whatever uniform he will be in, or Connor Bedard. When those guys come into the league, it's going to be a very
Yeah,
exciting
and
time to
that's
be
the
a hockey
thing.
fan this decade.
Power. What's his first
Hmm.
name? Power.
Owen Power,
Owen
defenseman,
Power.
6'5".
6'5", huge guy, can skate. I think he's got like. Uh,
You got
I
Luke
think
Hughes
he's
as
got
well in that
16
draft.
points in 22 games already in college. That's insane, man.
Yeah, that draft honestly is going to be nuts. The amount of defensemen from Simon Edvidson to Luke Hughes. You got so many great players in this upcoming draft. Matthew Benners, Brent Clark from the OHL, Barry Colts there. We got a lot of young defensemen coming into this draft. Now, the thing that sucks is we're not able to scout these players, so I feel bad for the Buffalo Sabres right now. We're really just, watching videos on these little tiny computers trying to scout these players, which must be frustrating for a lot of those players.
Yeah,
But Owen Power is a monster, and I'm pretty excited to see what he pans out to be in the league. Is he maybe your next Victor Hedman,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Who knows? I mean, at 6'5", there's a lot of things he can be. Like I said, he's putting up 16 points in 22 games in college right now. That is pretty impressive numbers when you're playing against men. I don't care if you're 6'5" or not. That is
Yeah.
great numbers. So I don't know what he's going to be, but I don't know what his aggressive nature is yet. I haven't really taken a lot of time into the draft for that year. But I mean, if he's aggressive, like you could be looking at like Pronger like player like that. I would have been who knows. Rickett, how you doing, buddy? Welcome, Rickett. Rickett picks fantastic. Oh, by the way, Hockey News Reports. I have not been giving him much props. Everybody go subscribe to HNR too, but if you haven't already, he's got a great channel there
Would
too.
recommend.
Yes,
Would
would
recommend.
definitely recommend you do that. Okay, let's go to the next game. We got like you know what, man? I can't wait until you got like 3 4 hours on a Saturday, and we can just because we could just go on and on with all the players and everything. It's gonna be freaking.
Talk about the next generation of
Just do
defensemen
like a
coming through.
3 4 hour live. It's I could go on and on and on for each team. Okay, did we even do the score for this game? No, we didn't. Uh,
Oh, for
we,
no, I don't think we did. We got stuck on Adam
what
Fox
was
there.
the
The Rangers
what was the
Capitals 5-2
5-2?
5-2 Rangers.
5-2 Rangers. Serrano. Is
Woo!
Serrano here today? I haven't seen
I
him yet.
don't think so.
Oh, he's gonna miss out on the swag. Oh man, Mercer was close. No, no, five. And he was the only one that took. No, I took the Rangers too, 3-1, but he nailed the score. 5-2 Rangers, right? Yeah, 5-2.
Yep,
He got
yep.
it. Avatar had 5-2 Caps and stuff, but he was the only one that took the Rangers. So, next game.
Wow.
This is like devastating.
Blue Jackets Tampa Bay.
My gosh. Now,
McElhinney.
Tampa outshot. I know, outshot them considerably. And McElhinney didn't play horrible, but Merzlikins, Elvis was out of his head last night. That's really what it came down to. It's not like
Mhm.
Tampa Bay. How many Perlocopters did we buy out there? Holy smokes, it's just going. I said just buy four. They, maybe they're having a hard time finding. Okay, anyways, doesn't matter. Uh, who saw this one coming? You lose two to. Is Columbus the biggest voodoo organ team in the league right now, or what?
I don't know. They're a weird organization to say the least. If they make it into the playoffs, they'll just be nuts. I mean, they still can, which is just crazy to me. Legit, you look at their analytics, goals for they're 22nd in the league, and goals against they're 24th. Like this team really should be worse than what they are right now. Like honestly, you look at up and down their team, they just have not been the team that they should be. They pulled off a surprising victory here tonight, only having 21 shots to be like in this game as well, which is just nuts as well to only have 21 shots in the game and to score 3 goals against the Tampa Bay Lightning, who, I mean, the Tampa Bay Lightning are just a tank. I think, you know what? I think the Columbus Blue Jackets are voodoo. They're a crazy, wacky team. Sometimes you get this great goal scoring or goaltending spectacular from either Merzlikins or Korpisalo. And I mean, this year, I don't know what's been why Torts plays Korpisalo more than Merzlikins when Merzlikins has a 918 save percentage. And they've only started Merzlikins 13 times this year. I don't know what Torts is thinking on this, if they're trying to lower Merzlikins' trade value or something. I don't know. I would be trying to crank his trade value as much as I can, especially if you are trying to trade the guy. Um, but I don't know. They should be starting Merzlikins more because after the night like he just had tonight against the Tampa Bay Lightning, making 37 saves, he was on absolute
I
fire.
think they're trying to up Corpusalo's trade value, and I think the best
It's
way
not
to do
working.
that is not play him. Playing him does not up his trade value. He's terrible. I've been saying that all along. Like he's not a good. He's a perfect example of a goaltender that benefits from Tortorella's system because he's not. His side to side is terrible. You know,
Yeah.
he's not a good goaltender. So I don't know if anybody's going to bite on Corpusalo, but if they do, you're not going to get much for him. You know, that's you got to be playing Merzlikins. I totally agree with you. He's the better goaltender by a long shot. The only thing I could think is that Merzlikins was injured. If it's a growing thing, it's possible they're just being very careful, and that's the reason why Corpusalo's going in a lot. That's a possibility.
Also, Hockey News Report was asking if
Sancho.
Hedman was okay. Hedman is okay. He did return to the ice in the game. He did leave with an injury, but he did come right back out. So I haven't heard any updates so far about Hedman, but he looks to be okay for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So that's good news for them.
Yeah, well, we better continue because as normal, we've gone on, and now we've only got 10 minutes left to do 3 games. So, Avatar, welcome to live. I'm doing fantastic.
Hey, bud.
Red Wings versus Panthers, and I don't know what I was thinking. I took Red Wings on the PL on this, but it was just Ekblad, ouch.
Oh, I'm
uh,
so sorry, Ekblad.
that
I
is
I
crazy. He
I
was
feel,
having a
dude.
crazy good year, and oh man, just
I it's really unfortunate. Ekblad, he's a good defenseman. Not the greatest defensive guy, but offensively, especially since he's playing with Mackenzie Weegar there, who is an absolute beast of a defenseman there for Florida, which is I'm pretty sure they're glad to have. But it really does suck for the Florida Panthers losing out on a big defenseman in Aaron Ekblad, especially the year that they're having right now. Now, I don't know why they didn't pick up, Gossespierre off of waivers, especially since you just lost Aaron Ekblad. He'll be out for the rest of the year, and you could put him on LTIR and save some money. I don't know why they didn't do that and grabbed up Gossespierre. Maybe it was because of salary cap issues. I don't know, but he would have been a pretty solid defenseman. I know it would have probably been another offensive defenseman, and you already have Keith Yandel, which is most likely the reason why you don't do it. But this is a good game by Florida against Detroit. They picked up a big win. Bobrovsky actually played pretty solid
yeah.
against the
I
team.
think
Now it
that's the
is now
big
it is
story,
Detroit.
but I still think that's the bigger story here.
It is. It is the bigger story here. I think they need Sergei Bobrovsky going, and you know what? He hasn't been. He's getting better. I think every game he's been playing this year, he's getting progressively better. A 907 save percentage, a 282 goals against average. These past couple games, the past 2 games, he's been playing pretty well. Chicago and Tampa, he struggled against, but even then, like the Nashville game couple days ago. He had a 926, even though he lost. He's been putting up some great numbers for the Florida Panthers right now, and is a big guy that they need to perform. They're paying the big money to be that big goalie there for Florida, and you could sort of start seeing it that he's really starting to step back up for Florida here.
Yeah, we had a question here I think they should because I don't think it's going to cost much, and I think that maybe even Elliott might be going the other way. I don't know what his trade is, but they asked should Philadelphia go after somebody like Bernier, and I say yes. I think very much so. It would help out Philadelphia an awful lot to have a guy like Bernier has shown to be able to take a crap load of rubber. He's been in Detroit the last 2 years, and he's stopped a lot of pucks and looked very good doing it. So if they could
Yeah.
if they could do something for Bernier, like say Elliott and a higher draft pick going the other way to make it all work for the cap, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, Philadelphia just can't rest on their laurels now. They made a choice to win now, so they got to win now, regardless of what they said. Once they fired Hextall and everything, there's no going back now. So yeah, I would say definitely, definitely.
Also to note, quick cool stat about Carter Verhaeghe. I can't remember the full stat, but Carter Verhaeghe this year has 15 even strength goals, which is one of the highest in the league right now. When you take a look at someone like a Mikko Rantanen, for example, right now this year he has 15 even strength goals. Mikko Rantanen, and Carter Verhaeghe
Yeah,
has 15 even strength
yeah.
goals. He's been absolutely amazing for the Florida Panthers, and what a steal Carter Verhaeghe was. A kid that was absolutely amazing in the OHL, struggled, went down to the ECHL, up to the AHL, won a Stanley Cup. It's been a crazy journey for Verhaeghe, and he deserves every bit of his
Yeah,
success right now there with Florida.
fantastic.
Big story there for them.
Huge. And especially when you consider the fact that they're out without Hornqvist, without Barkov, and without Ekblad.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. That's a pretty impressive win. I know we say only Detroit. Well, Detroit doesn't let people beat them. They've beat some
Hmm.
pretty decent teams this year. That's kind
Yeah,
of
they've
why
been better this year.
that's kind of why I had them at plus. I took the PL at +1.5 yesterday because they were out all those players. But also in the video, I did say that they're going to be playing for Blad, and they did. And they played tough. So, okay, Hurricanes, Blackhawks. Oh wait, we didn't say who. Sasha had 3-2 Wings. Avatar had 3-2 Panthers. What was the score?
4-1 Panthers.
Oh, Serrano 4-3 Red Wings.
Oh,
3-2 Panthers. I had 4-3 Panthers. So nobody got it. Not giving out too much swag today. Hurricanes versus the Blackhawks, and you might as well just call them the Lankinens. It's the Chicago Lankinens.
legit. I mean, I this kid came out of nowhere this year. 921. He's a bona fide starter for the Chicago Blackhawks, without a doubt, for years to come. 25 years of age. This kid is just an absolute gem for the Chicago Blackhawks. I mean, he's been amazing this year.
He's just
Really has
completely
been.
bailed out that organization this year. And we talked about it before. And who's going to stop pucks for them? And I looked at his numbers, and he had some good finish numbers. But he didn't have
Yep.
super numbers in the AHL. But I'm hearing
Also a
I'm here. What's that?
Also another young goalie I was doing really good with Lincoln in as well in that game with Carolina and Chicago was Nedeljkovic as
Nedeljkovic,
well.
yeah.
He's been great as well for Carolina as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know. The Bowmans are geniuses. I mean, they were and his father were saying all along that we like Lankinen. We think he's going to be our guy, and you let Crawford go. They told everybody that, and everybody's like, okay, but I thought, okay, they're just mailing it in, right? Because
Yeah.
they want to get some high draft picks, and they've already rebuilt a little bit, and they just want to get another high draft pick or two and then go for it again, right? But maybe they didn't even realize that Lankinen was going to be as good as he is. Like, he could have just surprised everybody right now. CL says if it's cheap, I don't think Bernier is going to be all that cheap. I think there's going to be a lot of goaltender value out there this year. There's going to be a lot of teams looking for goaltending if they have any issues at all, if they think they have any issues at all. So,
Well, especially since Bernier is really the only goalie out there right now that's on the trade bait board that you could really look at, unless Columbus wants to trade one of their goalies and Merzlikins, but that won't be cheap for you. If you're looking for a cheap goalie, Bernier would be the way to go. But how many teams are going to be looking at getting a goalie for this upcoming playoff run?
uh, how many teams? Yeah, how many teams are going to be looking for a goalie? That's a good question.
Tampa, Florida, Carolina. Carolina's
Tampa's
Nedeljkovic
going to be
right
looking for a
now.
backup for sure.
So maybe Bernier, but that's too expensive for them. They can't afford that. Washington, maybe. New York, no. Pittsburgh, no. Boston, Philly definitely needs a goalie. Colorado could be looking for somebody. I know
Maybe.
they went off for Johansson, but he hasn't been too great. The Wild, they got Keepo Kakkonen. St. Louis, they could use a backup without a doubt. Bennington's been
Absolutely. St. Louis is another good one.
yeah.
They'll be in there like a dirty shirt trying to find a veteran
Um,
guy to go with for sure.
Toronto has been having some turmoil, but they got Jack Campbell right now. Winnipeg, they got Halabuik. Edmonton got Koskinen and Smith, but they could still use an upgrade. Montreal, they have Price and Allen. So honestly, they got some. There's a couple teams that you could go for, but I think Philly will probably be the front runner if Bernier is available and he's being talked
Well,
about right now. I think that would be a
Stevie Y
target.
just has to sit there and go, I don't need to trade Bernie.
No,
I don't need to
no, I
trade him.
don't need to. I don't care
I
if I lose
want
them.
second and I want a second or nothing, or because he loves his second round picks. I want a second or nothing. You don't like it? Don't leave me alone. Don't even come talk to me. So, he's got all the leverage for that. For sure.
Yeah.
I'd want a second round draft pick if I was him at least for Bernier.
Hmm.
Stars versus Predators. Unless Bernier says, I want to.
Oh, did you talk about the scores yet
Oh,
for
no.
the
Oh, the
Blackhawks Hurricanes
Blackhawks
game?
Hurricanes. Okay, what was the score?
2-1 Blackhawks.
2 to. Oh, I had 2-1 Canes. Serrano 4-3 Hawks. Sasha's in the house. Sasha gets the swag. Boom. Oh, by the way, so
Woo!
did Serrano. He came back. He didn't tell me what swag he wants. What do you want? Necklace? Everybody get some hype going on for Sasha and Serrano. I didn't see no hype. Are you guys lazy this morning? Just get up for your nap? I don't blame you if you did. Good for you for having a nap, but it's time to wake up, boys and girls. Big time hype in the chat. Sasha nailed it. Mercer at 3-2 Canes. Uh, 4-3 Hawks and Avatar. But anyways, the Hawks had no business winning that game. Let's just put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Back finally the Stars and the Predators, and what a story the Predators team is it not? And without Forsberg, without Josie for a lot of it, he's back. But Ellis, Duchesne, all looks like a subtraction by a minus by subtraction, or subtraction by minus there for Duchesne, and they're just cleaning house. Again, they also got outplayed by the Stars last night, and Juicy Saros comes back from injury and cleaning house. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of this game, and I wasn't paying too much attention to it. But yeah, the Nashville Predators they're surprising. I mean, Tulavainen, you look at the kid, 18 points in 28 games right now. He's been popping off. He had the overtime winner in this game for the Nashville Predators there. This is a very surprising team. We were talking a lot about the Nashville Predators and who they might be trading away. I don't even think they might be trading away anyone right now. The way that they're
Yeah,
playing, they're having some success right now as a team.
yeah,
6 in a row wins right now, which I don't think we've seen coming. Duchesne's out of the lineup. Ellis, they were missing Forsberg as well. So they're missing a lot of players, but they're playing really well surprisingly right now, and they did it against the Dallas Stars, who, you know, has been, off and on this year. Already somehow 10 overtime losses, which is just absolutely nuts. The defensive team that they got there in Dallas is just insane. And the way that they're able to pride themselves to an overtime loss almost every single game. Um, but yeah, I think this has been a great game. And me and you were talking about off camera there about Jason Robertson and how great he's been there for the Dallas
yes,
Stars as well. And we
absolutely.
talked
Yeah.
at the start of the show as
Love
well
that guy.
about
Yeah.
how great he is. And he got the first goal of the game there for the Dallas Stars, and also Rope Hintz. But this is, a hard-fought battle there for the Nashville Predators, and they're in a playoff spot now, which is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's a fun story. I was always wondering what was going on because I always liked Hines in the college time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he was considered a coaching prodigy like Paul Maurice, right? And I don't know what happened in New Jersey. It might just a little too much for him all at one time or whatever. But Poyle went and still had identified that genius that was known from college and gave him a shot. And people have been calling for his head, and I sort of agreed, I guess. I mean, things were looking really bad there, but I on the other side, I
Hmm.
was like, you know, I know this Hines is a friggin' brilliant guy. Like he's going to be a great coach. Sort of like when we had, um, oh, what's his name? I always forget his name. Anaheim.
Oh, Penner?
No, coach. Right
Oh,
now.
Eakins.
Eakins, Dallas Eakins. Dallas Eakins is like that. He's going to be a great coach. We just got him a little young. I
Yeah.
thought he was going to be great. It just wasn't a good choice for that group. And so here he is. They're turning things around quite a bit there in Nashville. Getting great goaltending from Saros and Rene when he's been in, which is really odd. It's going to be fun to see what they can do here. It's one of those great stories that you just can't help but rooting for a team like this. Um,
Oh, breaking news. Sorry to cut you off there, Perlo. I think Thatcher Demko just signed his extension here.
wow. Okay.
Elliot Friedman just tweeted out now, Demko in Vancouver 5 times 5, so 5 million for the next 5 years for Thatcher Demko. Wow. If that is, I don't see it on Cat Friendly right now, but Elliot Friedman just broke the news. 5 for 5 for Thatcher Demko, which, if it is true, that is an absolute steal
Yep.
of a
Yep.
contract for the Vancouver
I
Canucks.
would pay that over the 6 for 6 for Markstrom any day.
Oh, any day, any day.
Yeah.
Markstrom has been struggling these past little bit,
Yeah.
and Thatcher Demko has been popping off, so
even
he deserves
even
that
if
five
I
mil.
didn't know that, and I kind of thought Markstrom was going to struggle a little bit because I just don't think he's as
Yep,
I
that's
thought
what
he
I
was
thought too.
very overrated. But without a doubt, Demko is going. Demko's got a Vesna or two in him for sure. As long as Vancouver can get some upgrade their defense and stuff like that, and let those kids mature. He's got a Vesna in him, at least one. He is fantastic, and at that price,
Hmm.
holy crap! What
Yeah.
a great signing by Bennett, by Benny. He probably saved his job right there.
Oh, without a doubt, that legit is a great steal by the Vancouver Canucks. What a contract.
Yeah. Okay. Now it's everybody's favorite time of the land.
Oh, we
Woo!
forgot to check the scores again for
Oh,
the Predators Stars game.
okay.
3-2
Okay, so it's
Preds.
not. Keep on Perlo dancing until I finish telling you the scores. Okay, keep on going. Don't stop. Sasha, told you, don't stop. Oh, don't stop. Valero was in at this time, and is a fellow that came in, new guy yesterday. What was the score?
Ooh. 3-2
I'm
Preds
pretty sure somebody's doing
in
it next.
overtime.
Are you serious? Nobody had 3-2 Preds? Nobody? 4-2,
Wow.
4-2. Lots of 4-2s, no 3-2s. I had 5-2, 5-3, and 5-3. So nobody gets swag. 3-2 is like the most common score in hockey, and nobody had it. Oh well. Okay, now we're gonna go on to our games for tonight because we have 5 games. Well, you and I will talk plenty to get this.
It'll take an hour for us to
At
go through all the
least,
games.
I don't know what we'd ever do if we had a 10 game schedule. We'd have to have
Oh,
be on for
I
four
think we've
hours.
done it before. We just skip a couple games.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Everybody, get your protractors out and your duotangs. Does anybody say duotang anymore? I don't think so. It's an old thing.
I mean, I don't,
I,
I don't, I used you Duotangs when I was in elementary, but
uh,
I haven't used it. I don't think I've used a Duotang in a
your
long time
your
now.
clipboards. Don't forget your clipboards.
Yeah, yeah, your
You gotta have
clipboards,
your clipboard.
all your stats, everything that you guys need
Yeah,
for
everything you
picking
need
these
for
teams.
picking these teams, get it all out there, line them all up, whatever you got to do. The Leafs versus the Jets. And I mean, this is going to be an absolute huge game. The Leafs come in, left Toronto. They got a 2 hour flight 2 nights ago, 2 days
Well,
ago.
isn't it a bus ride to Winnipeg?
No, 2 hour flight, dude.
Well, yeah, because Winnipeg doesn't have an airport.
No, that's true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, no, they don't have a landing pad. It's
so
just
they just
it's
land on the
just
highway.
wherever you want because you're not going to hit anything anyway. So it doesn't matter. Just wherever you
We'll
feel,
hook them up with the we'll hook them up with the
wherever
Perlo
the
chopper.
least amount of cows are. Just
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Anyways, the Jets are they just this is the thing that scares me about this game is they just had a really long Western road trip, and this is their
Yeah.
first game back from a Western road trip, and we know that you go on a road trip and you come home, especially for the guys that have kids or girlfriends, and you come home and it's like, I'm here, and then you got a million things to answer. You got things to do, whatever. If lots of stuff going on with your family and everything can be
Yeah.
distracting. It is a big issue when it comes to teams for sure. The question
Hmm.
is, are the Jets going to succumb to that in this huge game? Huge game. Jets win this and they're number one in the North, right? With
Yeah, this is a big
two
game for
games in
both.
hand, but still,
Yeah.
this is an enormous game. This is huge.
Yeah.
Um,
Winnipeg and Toronto, they've been pretty even this year too. I think they're 2 wins for Winnipeg and 2 wins for Toronto. So and also the starting goalies will be Buick and Campbell for Toronto. So the two best goalies starting in the nets for both teams.
is it going to be yeah, Campbell and Hellebuck? Yeah.
Yeah,
Anderson's hurt or whatever. Campbell's got a 148 and a .945.
he's been nuts.
Crazy.
Campbell's been nuts this year. Hellebuck's been nuts. Both teams, honestly, Winnipeg, they are in their last five there. They're 4-1. They only lost that one game against Calgary, so they've been doing pretty hot in the past little bit. And same with Toronto. Toronto's 3-2 with a couple overtime wins. They did almost lose to Ottawa there in the past little bit. Toronto's been, off and on. So they're really going to have to play a tough game because Winnipeg is really going to bring out their best. And I think they're going to be putting that Scheifele, Call, Connor, and Ehlers line together. And that line did especially well against the Calgary Flames. And I think you might be seeing that. I think in this one, I think the Jets are going to be playing their best game. They know that this is a do or die game that they could possibly take atop of the North Division. I think I'm going to give this one to the Winnipeg Jets. I think it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be 3-2 Jets.
Avatar 4-1 Jets. Okay, 3-2 Jets. Uh,
Yeah, 3-2
I'll
Jets.
put prize, the prize. 3-2 Jets. Okay, we're going to have all the other ones here. 11 likes. Yeah, remember to smash that like button. Let's get all that so we get some more people in here for all the great frolic that we're doing.
Yeah, weird. I think we hit 14. Yeah, keep
Woo!
smashing that like button, guys. Very much
CL
appreciated, boys.
5-2 Jets. Wow, just a blowout. Serrano 4-3. Serrano's on a roll, by the way. Serrano, listen, if you guys are into putting a little money down, I'd be really looking at Serrano's picks because he's been just flying. He's got so much Perlo swag. He's gonna be on Hoarders here pretty soon. Steele
Hey, Steele.
4-3 in OT. 4-3
So
OT
Avatar,
for who? Jets.
did you get Avatars 4-1 Jets?
Jets OT Avatar. Yes, I did get the avatars.
And
Ken,
then Mercer 3-2 Leafs.
Kenny just hit the like button. Woo, Kenny!
Woo!
Welcome. Did you hit the subscribe button too, Kenny? Because that would be fantastic. And what we're doing here, Kenny, is you tell me what the score is going to be and what team's going to win, and then you can get fabulous prizes.
Oh yeah,
Fabulous
big fat
prizes.
surprises.
Perlocopter right to your door. And we just ordered 3 more Perlocopters today. You can hear them in the background all day. They're moving them around up there. Uh, do we have anybody else? We got all these people in here and only 5 people give picks.
Yeah, I think. Did you get Mercer?
Oh no, I missed
Uh,
Mercer.
3-2 Leafs.
Mercer 3-2 Leafs. Okay.
Did you get CL's 5-2
Yeah,
or
I
5-2
did. I
Leafs?
got CL.
And then the Go Caps and Serrano 4-2 Leafs. Sasha with the 3-1 Jets.
Thanks, Ridley. You're the man. Uh, yeah, I think I got everybody. Okay.
All right, perfect. On to the next one.
Well, I got to do my pick.
Oh yeah, your pick.
These are 2 fantastic goaltenders and 2
Yeah,
fantastic. I don't know, like, I really don't. Like, it could go either way, right? If one goaltender falters on this thing, like, you could be in trouble. You could be either way. But with Campbell, them doing so well, and maybe the Jets, because it's their first game, will be a little sloppy back. Could be a little sloppy. And the Leafs did have the road game after having some tough stuff. So I don't want to take anybody's, but I'm going to say 3-1 Jets. 3-1 Jets. I just
Kenny.
the Jets.
Kenny takes 4-3 Jets as
Kenny.
well there.
Okay, Kenny.
Kenny.
Kenny
Kenny.
takes 4-3 Jets. The Jets' depth is what gets me. They got
Yeah, I love the Jets depth.
incredible.
I think I'm gonna call it right now. I think the team that's gonna win the division in the playoffs will be the Jets, especially if they upgrade their defense.
Mhm.
I think they could possibly make it to the conference finals with just their forward depth. That Appleton, Kopp, Lowry line is absolutely amazing for that third line. And, going up against the Leafs, who knows what will happen in the playoffs. But I feel just the Jets are just, a more experienced level team. They made it to the conference finals before, and they have a great goalie right? Toronto's kind of going relying on Jack Campbell, who has never been relied on before. Frederick Anderson's been struggling a lot this year for the Toronto Maple Leafs, so we'll have to see. But I believe the Winnipeg Jets could possibly make it to the conference finals this year. Hot take.
I think so too. I totally, that team is just so deep ever since they got Dubois and they got all that settled. Hellebuck had a little bit of a shaky start, but he's right back into his Vezina winning self right now.
Yeah, the Jets struggled, but they've been red hot these last little bit. And
Yeah,
I think they could be a real serious contender to win the North in the playoffs without a doubt.
yeah. If depending on who falls out of the race there, there's like say if Nashville falters now and falls backwards, if Ekholm is still available or somebody like that, or even Jalmerson out of Arizona, uh, that I think they only really need one guy like that, and this team could be very scary. Could be even
It could
cup
be.
contenders, I would say.
Yeah,
And
I totally agree with you.
any solid team with Hollebuck in the net has a chance for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Okay, let's get to our next game. Um,
Philly Sabres, I think it
oh
is.
gosh, yeah.
Ooh, Sabres.
And you know
I
what?
feel
I'm gonna
so bad
let
for
you
them.
roll with this because I got somebody. I got to take something at the door here, so I'll be right back, everybody. Sorry. You go ahead.
All right, no
I
worries.
know you can just go and
Yeah, I'll
talk all
talk.
day about it, so don't worry. I'll be right back.
Perfect. All right, so Philly Buffalo. We all know what Buffalo's been doing lately. 18 losses in a row. I think we all feel bad for the Buffalo Sabres. I think we all hope that they could win sooner or later. Will it be tonight? I think it could possibly be. They've been pushing the last two games. They lost 2-3 against the Boston Bruins, and Philly made a comeback victory in overtime to beat the Philadelphia Flyers. So I think honestly this could be a possible win for the Buffalo Sabres here tonight. I think we could be celebrating something tonight. Maybe. Um, Also, yeah, go Kenny on learning hockey, but it's amazing to learn hockey, dude. This is the final, almost the final matchup between the Buffalo Sabres and the Philadelphia Flyers. Brian Elliott is unconfirmed for Philly, and Linus Ullmark is unconfirmed. So no goalie details yet for both teams. If Linus Ullmark is in the net, they do have a pretty strong possibility. Also, Philly's been struggling in the past little bit. They did pull away with a very surprising win against the Buffalo Sabres. Um, Honestly, I think this is such a tough one because I want to believe in the Buffalo Sabres tonight. I really truly want to believe in them, but it's hard to believe in Buffalo right now, especially after 18 games in a row. But I'm going to believe in them tonight and I'm going to go with the
Really?
Buffalo Sabres.
Oh
Yep,
my
I'm going
gosh.
to I'm going to believe in them tonight. I have some belief in Taylor Hall. Hopefully, you know what I'm gonna do tonight? I'm gonna watch this game. I'm gonna throw on my Taylor Hall jersey, my New Jersey Devils Taylor Hall jersey, and I'm hoping that Taylor Hall can pry his way and win the Buffalo Sabres a win tonight because it's depressing to look at this team play right now. So I'm choosing the Buffalo Sabres. I'm gonna go 3-1 Buffalo. That's what I'm gonna go with.
3-1. That would be disgusting if that happened.
It would be.
Steel Flyers is Steele is taking. I know why he's taking Buffalo because every time he goes against the team that the Flyers are playing, they win. He's
um,
probably on here just so he can put that energy out there, just for that reason. That's why he's here. Oh, also we're extremely handsome, but besides that, also because of that. Serrano 4-3 Flyers,
Kyle also gets 4-2 Flyers.
4-3 Flyers.
And 4-2 for
Kyle Mercer,
Kyle.
Mercer
4-2 Flyers.
Flyers 4-2.
And then Avatar 3-0 Flyers.
Uh,
CL goes 4-1 Flyers. Go Caps goes
3
4-3
nothing.
Flyers. Everyone's
CL
choosing the Flyers.
CL has Flyers 4-1. Now, I'll talk about what I'm going to do in a second here. Go Caps is 4-3 Flyers. And Sasha's 3-0. Flyers 3-0.
Kenny.
Now, my thing
Kenny.
is Kenny's doesn't.
Hey, Kenny goes with the Buffalo Sabres. Join the club. Woo! 3-1
Kenny
Buffalo.
Sabres 3-0. 3-1. Okay, I'm on the fence about this game, and it really makes me sick to my stomach that I'm on the
I know.
fence about this game because
I know. That's what I was thinking
I
too,
am a
man.
Flyers fan, and it's disgusting that I'm on the fence about this.
I know that sucks. Like, you're a good team. You want to see this team win, and then you look at it, you're like, oh, this could potentially be a game where Philly could lose against the Sabres.
Yeah. Uh, my thinking is though that the sickness in their stomach that they had in the third
Yeah.
last game, where they came back to win, I think that will propel them into a full 3 period, one of their first full 3 period games of the year, or at least in a very long time,
Mm-hmm.
to come out like you don't want to, you can't, please,
No.
for the fans, Flyers fan, please don't embarrass us like this. I know the Sabres fans, but they're already embarrassed. So,
18 games in a
I
row. That's
feel
pretty
for
hard.
them too. But what's one more game, right?
Yeah.
What's one more game? At the very least, blow them out of the water so the Sabres fans don't have to go through what they just went through. By the way, what's her Melanie? Oh, I had her name. Melanie something. She's a Buffalo Sabres YouTuber. She's
Oh,
really
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
I love her. She's fantastic. I just watched one of hers, and she talked about that where she said, I wasn't even getting angry anymore. Okay, we suck, whatever. I can go on with my life, no big deal. Whatever, kind of going on. Apathy had set in. Apathy is a wonderful thing because it relieves the pain, you know. And that game, then
I
that
just
game.
I don't think as a fan, I know like when the Oilers were losing a ton, I don't think that pain ever leaves you. I know that like as a person, like oh yeah, it's behind me, whatever, we suck. But it's just like, every time you watch a game or even see a highlight, you feel that pain. Even looking back at the Oilers nowadays, if I were to look back at like watching one of the 2010 games when Sean Horikoff was there and we were so bad,
Yeah,
it would still pain me to this day to watch that type of hockey because of the fact that it was so bad. And it's rough to be a Buffalo Sabres fan. That's why I'm hoping they could possibly pull away with a victory tonight and they could pop some champagne for that one victory.
yeah. I know what she's saying though, because when being an Oilers fan as well, I was there when they lost and lost and lost. And I
Yeah.
did get to that point where I was kind of numb to it. And I
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
watch the game. And then all of a sudden they would be playing some great team at the time, like the Red Wings or whatever. Who was great at the time? I don't know. It was so far back. Chicago. And
Nashville
they
was
would
really
be up
good.
like 4-1 on a great team and they looked fantastic. And, you know, whoever our goaltender of the week was playing really well, or maybe it was Talbot, and then they drop 4 goals in the last 10 minutes and lose it. That
Hmm.
then my ire and anger comes up, and you just want to go like, just don't. Either lose it in the first period and let me switch to all the other games and sit and be just fine. It's fine. I got it. Okay, we suck. But don't do that to me. And that's what she feels like. Like don't bother if you're gonna do that. Don't even bother.
Yeah,
It's a horrible feeling.
it
Okay.
is.
Let's get to another game. And by the way, for me as a Philadelphia Flyers fan, I was already on John's stream there, handing out bags for Flyers fans' heads. I handed one out to CL and everything. Like that was it. And then Philly turns it around. It was crazy. And you know what?
It
It
was
almost
crazy.
still doesn't feel like Philly really won anything.
No, it didn't.
You were still down 3-0 to the freaking Sabres. You know what I
I
mean?
that yeah. If you're down 3-0 to the Buffalo Sabres and you're struggling, to score goals and you're struggling to keep the puck out of your own net, you got some serious problems, especially against one of the worst teams in the NHL right now. You just don't want that happening. You really don't.
Steele's there, Evan. I don't know. We didn't come up with the topic yet. We got Evan and I, E Money and I, and Steele and I are going to be doing a video together on something tomorrow. We haven't even come
Ooh.
up with a topic. Okay, so let's move on to the next game. We got two. We got three more to do.
Yeah, I think so. Arizona and Colorado, I think is the next game.
Yes, Colorado and Arizona. Okay, Avalanche
Yeah, so the starting goalies in
versus.
this one is Grubauer and Aiden Hill. Aiden Hill's 4.31 this year with a very respectable save percentage of 920, I think it is, and also a 243 goals against average. While Grubauer, on the other hand, he's starting in the net. He's been fantastic this season, 921 save percentage, 21-7-1. Also, the Arizona Coyotes, they've been against Colorado. They've got a couple wins, but Colorado has mostly dominated this series against Arizona. They did lose the last game against Arizona there, Colorado, 5-4. I think it was
Yeah,
in
because
shootout they
they
lost.
had Hunter Mishka in that.
Yeah, so I think with Grubauer starting in that for this game, I think Colorado will win this one without a doubt. Arizona definitely needs this win tonight as well because they're only a point back of the St. Louis Blues. So you might be seeing a really, really good game from the Arizona Coyotes coming into tonight's game. But with Aiden Hill in the net, I don't know. He's been really good, but I think I'm gonna believe in the Colorado Avalanche tonight. I think I'm gonna go 6-1 Avalanche tonight.
Oh,
I think they're gonna pop off tonight. They're
crush.
gonna go out there and pop off.
I have you had a chance to watch Colorado the last couple games?
I've watched a couple highlights, but they've been looking
Uh,
pretty
I
tanky.
I've been watching the games and my gosh, I haven't seen a team dominate like that in a while since the Tampa Bay team that broke records at, which is a couple of years
This
ago.
is I mean they started off the year, a little rough with a couple of I mean even then they still played really well, but they've had a couple injuries throughout the season, but honestly, with everyone almost back and healthy, this team it's a tank. It really is. They got a lot of good players and this is what I mean. This is analytics for you. When you have a great analytic department, this is the way that a team turns out to be. And that's the way that the Colorado Avalanche is. And I think this game will be a demolition derby for the Colorado Avalanche. They're just a very strong team. They've been getting that depth goal scoring going from Donskoy, who's been red hot lately, from Mikko Rantanen and McKinnon and Landeskog popping off to Kale Maker, just playing great. I mean, he has 22 points in 22 games this season. He's been absolutely amazing for the team. So I expect a big win for them tonight.
Yeah, Aiden Hill has been playing very good. There's no doubt about that. Actually, a
Yeah.
little bit. Um, I was always a fan of him. He's one of those guys that you never know what his ceiling's going to be. Every time you think you got a ceiling on him, he keeps on improving. He kind of reminds me of Smith in that way when Smith first started out. He was sort of like that as well. Um, so I don't know what his ceiling is here, and I'm sure Arizona's going to put on a really good effort, no doubt about that. Um, I too do. I don't think it's going to be a complete blowout because I think the Avalanche are, like you said, that Arizona's got a lot to play for. They're going to be putting everything they
Yeah.
got into this game. I think CL just took my score. 4-2 Avs. Did he just say that?
Yeah, 4-2 Avs.
CL.
Mercer has 4-1 Avs. Steele put 5-1 Avs. Same with Sasha. He has 5-1 Avs as well.
Oh, Sasha. Okay, I missed Sasha.
And
Uh,
then Serrano has 4-2 Colorado.
Serrano is another 4-2. Okay,
Yeah.
4-2 Avs. Okay, I'm pretty sure I took. So I have to pick. I'm gonna say. I guess I am. It is gonna be a blowout. I'm taking the Avs. I'm gonna take 5-2 Avs.
And Kenny goes 4-2 Avalanche.
Kenny goes 4-2 Avalanche. If If anybody's new here, all you got to do is whatever game we're talking about, you just put here what the score, who's going to win, and what the score is. Or you can just creep in here and listen and not care about doing that. You can do that too. That's allowed. I'll let it. Um, these dudes really don't know where to put these choppers. I know. I'm gonna have to get somebody to go up there and show them how to park a chopper. Like, jeez, it's
Come
crazy.
on. Come on, guys. What are you doing?
Avatar, did I get yours? Yes, 4-0. I got it. E Sullivan. E's taking 6-1 Avs. E Money. E Money, by the way, has a podcast called On the Money.
Ooh.
He does primarily football and hockey. Maybe do you do something else every once in a while? Football, hockey. I think that's the only two he does. Huge hockey fan, huge football fan. Pretty fantastic stuff. I've I did podcasts with him way back on an app that's no longer even around anymore.
Wow.
Game Takes, it's called. And he's fantastic. Check him out. Now we're going to be, like I said, GoCap says 4-3. Did I not do GoCaps yet?
No, I
Oh,
think that was Go Caps. Yeah, that was his first comment there talking
4-3
about it.
Avs. Nobody took Arizona at all. Oh, public opinion is high on the Avalanche, which is understandable. They've been just crushing. Okay, we're on
Next
game
game?
4. Yeah.
Yeah, LA versus Vegas. The starting goalies for that one, Kale Peterson is unconfirmed right now.
Still,
And
really?
then, and then Marc-Andre Fleury is likely. He was the first goalie off the ice at the Golden Knights morning practice. So if Fleury does start, he's 17-7 this year with a 927 save percentage. He's been nuts this year. And same with Peterson, who has a 923 with a 254 goals against average. So LA as well, they've been struggling the past games. And I watched the last game between Vegas and LA. And my lord, Vegas, I give them tips, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Vegas is an amazing team, honestly. The way that they shut down the LA Kings in that third period, and there was no stoppage of plays, it went from 20 minutes to being the game done instantly. The game didn't go on for very long. It was one of the shortest games I've seen in a while, right? And Vegas is great at that. They went in to that building knowing what they need to do, walked in, won the game, and left. And I think that's what Vegas will do again. Vegas has been great. They've been a great defensive team. And I think they'll pull away with another victory. I mean, Jonathan Quick was in the net for the LA Kings, so I think this will be a very low scoring game. So I'm going to take Vegas 3-2, and I think they'll pull away with the victory, especially if Fleury's in the net. I mean, no matter who you go with in Laner or Fleury, you're going to have a great goalie showcase. But 3-2 Vegas for me.
3-2 Vegas for you. Okay.
Yep. And Sullivan also goes with 3-2 Vegas as well.
Wow, we're gonna have a three-way tie here, but
Oh,
Knights.
and Sasha goes 3-2 Vegas.
Holy smokes!
Avatar goes 3-1 Knights.
Wait a sec. Serrano went 3-2 as well.
He went with LA though, 3-2 LA.
Oh, he's going off the board, going with LA.
Sasha went with Vegas
Flyer
3-2.
Steel
Steele went with
has
4-2 Vegas.
4-2.
Avatar, did he get Avatar?
I believe. Oh, maybe. Yeah, Avatar at 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1 Knights, and then Mercer 3-1 Vegas, and also Kenny 3-1 LA.
Mercer 3-1 Vegas.
And without a doubt, Evan, yeah, I'll definitely be coming down to either Vegas or Colorado for that top spot, without a doubt. I mean, Wild are up there, but I don't think they can match up to the type of level of game that Colorado or Vegas can play. They're two powerful teams in that West division, without a doubt.
Yeah, they are. They are the class of that division by a long shot. It's not even close. And they're doing this without Vegas is doing this without Peter Angelo in the lineup.
I mean, he hasn't been too great analytically. Shout out to Shea Theodore. He's been an absolute beast for the Vegas Golden Knights. Sooner or later, that guy will win a Norris Trophy. I mean, he's a very
Maybe, maybe.
Very, very underrated defenseman. If
Again,
he
one of
starts
those
putting up the
guys that might
points,
have came in at an unfortunate time with guys like Fox
oh yeah,
and
without a doubt.
Makar
I
coming.
mean, if Shea Theodore, I mean, his analytics are great. 100% offensively, he's great defensively, great on the power play. He puts up the points. He's a great defenseman there for Vegas. Absolutely amazing guy. Um, Especially when you add Peter Angelo to the team, it's a tank of a defensive core.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Peter Angelo. I mean, he's just trying to figure. He's new to the team. Give him some time.
Hmm.
He's about a top 15, top 20 defenseman in the league. People do rate him a little high. I think he gets a little overrated sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, but there's so many things that he brings that you can't really put into the numbers either. He is a great leader. He brings up a lot of his teammates extremely well. You see how they're struggling in St. Louis without him.
Hmm.
So there's things outside of the ice that Peter Angelo brings that but the thing is, though, in Vegas, they already have guys that bring a whole lot of that, anyways.
Yeah.
Pacioretty was the captain of Montreal Canadiens. Stone is like a beast in every aspect of the game.
But you know what? I think bringing in Peter Angelo just brings that, that more veteran leadership, especially since, Vegas is, they struggled in the past a little bit with the playoffs, getting kicked out early. You bring in Peter Angelo, who's won a cup. You bring that Stanley Cup experience. I think that'll be massive, especially when you're probably going to have to go up against the Colorado Avalanche almost no matter what. It's going to be a difficult matchup because I don't think the Blues or the Wild. Maybe the Wild does, defeat Colorado or Vegas in the first round, but most likely that second round will be between Vegas and the Colorado Avalanche in that second round. And that leadership that you're going to get from a lot of those players is going to be so key for the Vegas Golden Knights going up against the Colorado Avalanche.
Sasha thinks that Minnesota's
Wild goaltending.
Wild goaltending. I mean, I like the Wild's game. I think they're just a little green yet. Give them a little bit of time for Eck and those guys to get some playoff experience.
Yeah,
Um,
I think stepping into the playoffs will be fun with those guys, with Eriksson Ek and Kaprizov. I think they'll do good, but I don't think they'll go very far in the playoffs.
I don't think so
They're
either.
just too young. They're too. I mean, maybe Nick Bonino and the older guys bring this team up, and the defensive core plays great, but I don't know. It's going to be tough. I think Cable Kokkinen will definitely carry them a lot of the way. I think they could probably push to 6, 7 games in the first round, but I don't think they'll make it much farther than that. So are we going to be going on to the next one, I think?
Oh, I guess well that'd be a good topic tomorrow for tomorrow. Steele, the free agent moves and how they've done so far from the off
Yeah.
season. It's a pretty good one. I like that. Um, Vegas Ave series. Oh, yeah, well, that will be an amazing series if it's Vegas and Avs. Like what
Oh, it will be amazing, without a doubt.
that would be. And same as Winnipeg Toronto. Uh, what the in the other ones? I mean, the East is a little more wide open. Uh, who that could be? Who that could be there? I think everybody was hoping for like a Philly Pittsburgh, but not like might not even be Philly in the playoffs. And what's the other division I'm missing? Oh, Carolina, Tampa.
Oh, without a doubt, that'll be a fun one as well.
Yeah, for sure. If Tampa starts getting their head out of the butt. Okay.
On to the next one, Calgary and Canucks.
Yeah, Calgary and the Canucks, and good thing we went to this one last because there's a whole lot to unpack with these two
Actually,
teams.
I think there's another game right after this one. I think
We
actually,
have
I
one
think it's
more. Is there
the
6 games
yeah
tonight?
the Wild and Sharks.
Okay, so we'll do the Flames. We got see, we're already now. We only have 20 minutes to do these two, so we got enough time. But
10 minutes each. 10 minutes each.
you know us. Flames
We'll
versus
go on for
Canucks.
20.
We'll do Flames versus Canucks first.
So the starting goalies are Jacob Markstrom for the Calgary Flames. That's been confirmed, and Thatcher Demko is likely. He did come off the ice first during the Canucks morning skate. Thatcher Demko has been absolutely amazing for the Canucks. They are on a 3-game losing streak right now, losing one to Montreal, losing to the Winnipeg Jets. Calgary's been struggling even more, though. They were on a 4-game losing streak before winning to Winnipeg and then losing another one against the Jets. And I think this is honestly an easy one. I'm choosing Vancouver on this one. Vancouver, they've been back and forth between Calgary and Vancouver, but just the way that the Flames look, they look dead out there. They do not look the way that they should be looking right now. And so honestly, I'm gonna choose the Canucks on this one. I think it'll be a close one. I think it's gonna just be. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do 2-1 Canucks. I think it's gonna be a very tight, even game. I think if you're gonna be, it's gonna be very fast paced without a doubt because these two teams are fighting for a playoff spot, and whoever wins this. I think whoever wins this series between these two teams, or I guess this one game, whoever wins this one game, will be the one who is practically not mathematically eliminated, but eliminated just because they lost to that other team. And this is a very pivotal game for both teams tonight if they want to stay in that playoff race.
It's getting to the point where it's just almost psychological that
Yeah,
you got to win this game.
it is.
The problem with Vancouver in this game is that Adam Gaudette, who I like more than apparently Green does, for whatever
Yeah,
reason, I like. He got COVID.
yeah.
Uh, um, Jake Virtanen is got an illness.
Oh,
That's it.
that's
Illness.
it. Illness.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's got the sniffles.
the sniffles.
I don't know what the illness is. It's probably private. I shouldn't joke about it. Brandon Sutter, it's just Jake Virtanen. So when you hear something weird like that, you wonder because Jake Virtanen, if you don't know, has been known to like the nightlife a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Brandon Sutter is out. Tanner Pearson is out, and of
Wow.
course we know Pedersen is out. So this is a pretty skeleton lineup. Um, but I still think Vancouver's going to win it. I think Calgary's that bad that, I mean, I think it could go either way, to tell you the honest truth.
I think so too. I think it could be either team that could win this game, honestly, tonight. I mean, the Flames have been struggling lately, but with the Canucks' injuries, the Flames could capitalize and totally pull off a victory. It's going to be a tough one to pick and choose, and it seems like a lot of people are choosing the Canucks right now.
Yeah, I have a surprising amount of people are picking the Canucks right now. Actually, I think that's just because really you just saw the Flames lose so many games that they had to win. And
Yeah,
here's just another one. CL 1-0 Canucks. I was thinking about that actually
yeah, we
because
got
we got Demko fresh off his 5 million. He's going to be feeling good, right? You got was it 5 year?
oh, Thatcher Demko. Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
5-year, $5 million deal that got broke today by Elliot Friedman, just a little while ago. So it's either going to be usually either contracts are bad for you or they're absolutely perfect. And I think Thatcher Demko is going to be feeling pretty ready, and feeling pretty excited about getting that type of money right off the get go.
yeah,
Should be fun for the kid.
yeah. And he should be riding pretty high.
Hmm.
He's like basically Lankinen right now, where
Yeah.
he can just win you a game. Like I wouldn't doubt that Calgary outplays Vancouver here, but I do doubt whether they're going to be able to score on Demko, and that's why I kind of like CL's 1-0 there. But I think I'm going to go Vancouver. I'm going to go 2-0. 2-0
So
Canucks.
did you get Sasha's 2-1 Flames there?
Sasha's got 2-1 Flames. Yes, that was the first one.
Yeah, Serrano got 3-2 Flames, Avatar 4-2 Canucks, 2-1 Canucks for Mercer.
Right.
Steele goes 4-3 Canucks, 3-2 Canucks for Kenny.
Yeah. Kenny
Yeah, bro,
Ridley.
Sasha, I also have Pedersen on my other fantasy team. Yeah, it kind of sucks that he's injured. Really does suck. He's my big player on the team that I picked, and he's been not doing so well. well, he's been injured, so can't really do anything about it. And you can't cut him because just be dumb because he could possibly come back any day. And it's really not really listed what his injury is. It's like, what is it, like upper body injury?
Yeah, that's what they all are.
Yeah, well, you really can't get to your sources as good as what they used to, right? I mean, we used to know just about every single injury, but now we just know it as lower body or upper body injuries, and we really don't know the degree
I
of
know.
the injury unless it's like a season-ending injury like Ekblad, where it was like a fracture in his leg. You really don't know what the type of injury it is. It's really been hidden this year with the NHL, especially since our sources can't get in there as
With
much.
COVID and all that too.
Yeah,
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 like and it's funny when they have like a guy such obvious ones where it's like you could tell like if it would they it's gotten so bad that I wouldn't doubt that Ekblad has an upper body injury. Pretty much.
well, yeah. Without a doubt, like I remember when Zach Cassian got injured, you really didn't know. You kind of knew that it was like a broken hand. You could still see it. He doesn't fight anyone. You can see Zach Cassian going out there, and every time he lays a big hand, someone asks him to fight him. He's like, "No, no, I don't want to fight." And you could definitely tell that he has a broken hand, probably still lingering with him as well after that fight with Gabranson. But yeah, I don't know. It's just it's the thing that the NHL does. I don't know, to either like make sure that other players don't target that injured hand or whatever it may
Yeah,
be.
I know.
I think that might be the tactic, but I don't know. I don't think we're really into that hockey nowadays where we target players and try to injure
I
them.
don't agree with that.
I know there's
I
some
think
players
people
out there, but
still
I don't
do.
see it very much.
I think they still do.
Yeah, there's still players out there that still do, but you don't see it as much when Matt Cook was in the NHL, decking, Eric Carlson from behind or whatever. You don't see that as much. I mean, you still see it from Tom Wilson, maybe sometimes with him, Ryan Reeves, and some other players, but you don't see it as much as what you used to see
Uh,
back in the day.
it's just like if somebody knows you have like a growing injury, they're gonna. I mean, like or whatever it may be, they're gonna when they body check you, they're gonna knee that down there a little
Yeah,
more and stuff like that. They're gonna try to hurt you. I mean,
yeah,
let's face it. It's happening in hockey. Like people will say,
it's a
well,
physical game.
nobody wants to see somebody get hurt. I've heard that. That's not true. Yes, they do want to see you get hurt. They don't want you to get injured. Nobody wants you to get like life career-ending injury or anything like that happened with Ekblad. Nobody wants to see
Hmm.
that kind of stuff like that. But do they
Yeah.
want you to hurt? Absolutely. We want pain for sure, no doubt about it. I played the game, and did I want to hurt the opposition? Absolutely, no doubt about it. I definitely wanted them hobbling a little bit by the end of the game. So the next game,
Wild and the Sharks. For this one, the starting goalies are Kaapo Kakkonen and Martin Jones are both confirmed to start in this one. Kakkonen, he has a 921 save percentage with a 12-5 record. Martin Jones, he has an 897 save percentage with 11-7 record. I think this one's a pretty easy one. The Wild have done so against the Sharks. It's been back and forth between these two teams. The Wild haven't been too bad. I think honestly, uh, I might pick the Wild on this one. The Wild just, they're a better team than what the Sharks have been. The Sharks, they've been struggling in the past little bit. They won over the Wild in shootout there, but they lost the two games against Arizona. Wild, on the other hand, they've been doing decently in their last little bit, actually really good. Three in a row games against the Ducks and the Blues, only losing in shootout against the Sharks. And after that Avalanche series, they had a five in a row, yeah, 5 games in a row, beating Vegas and Arizona at the start of the month. So while they've been having a really good month, they've been really putting things together. Cam Talbot's been great, Kokkinen's been great, and I think the goaltending will really carry them in this matchup between the Wild and the Sharks. I see this game being 2-0 Wild.
6-5 Wild. Wow.
Ooh, wow.
Prize 2-0 Wild.
Yeah, Sasha, the Canucks did re-sign Thatcher Demko 5 years for $5 million.
That is just a steal of a contract. What a great job. Bill Guerin. Bill Guerin, what has he done with that team so far, eh? Wow. Great.
He's been amazing. I mean, you were talking when we looked over this team, and we were talking. We're like, this team could either be, a really, really good team this year, or it could be a tweener team this year. And we were talking about Cam Talbot and Capo Kakinen and how well will they do. Well, they proved us that they are great together. And I gave tips to Cam Talbot. I'm like, Cam Talbot's gonna have a good season. When he's playing in a good tandem, he's gonna have a good season, and he's certainly been putting up some great numbers this year, and it's been looking fantastic for the Minnesota Wild, and especially Kokkinen as well. And their defense has been amazing there for the Minnesota Wild. So this is going to be a big one for them. If they win, they get themselves within 2 points of the Colorado Avalanche with a game on or with a game in hand. So this is going to be a big one for the Wild. They definitely need this win tonight.
Yeah. They, like I said, they're very reliant on flow, passing, all of those sort of things like that.
Yeah.
The last game they played San Jose, again, they'd had 3 days off. They looked off. They just looked a little off. They still had the energy. It still looked good that way. So I think their legs will be going this time, and I think San Jose is going to have a little more difficult time handling them, as they do all of their little passes all around. Like it's almost like a dance in there in the offensive zone with the Wild. The
Hmm.
Dean Evison has these guys playing as quite the unit. No doubt about it. As it's almost like it feels like one entity passing the puck back and forth. Like they all know where everybody is and stuff. And that is
I
and
think
that's practiced, right?
honestly, Dean Evanson, I think he's the next big coach in the NHL. With how well he's coached this Minnesota Wild team and how well they look, I think he's the next big head coach in this league. He's been honestly, when he got hired there last year, he turned around the Minnesota Wild before the COVID stoppage. And honestly, this year he has been playing great, doing great coaching this Wild team. So I honestly think that this guy is the next kind of big Barry Trotz in the NHL. The type of coach that can really just, no matter what the personnel looks like, if they have some solid players around it, this team is going to be a good team. And I think that's just the way that Dean Evanson has built into this Minnesota Wild team is just this kind of winning culture and not, a tweener culture. They actually have a good record this year. Would we ever imagine the Minnesota Wild having a 21-10-2 record? Would we ever imagine this? I don't think so. It is we expected the Minnesota Wild to maybe be in third or fourth, maybe even
Yeah,
in
they
fifth,
were
and not above
tweeners.
and not above the Blues.
Yeah.
We didn't expect them to be above the Blues, and they've been a better team than what the St. Louis Blues have been. So just absolutely amazing coaching by Dave Evanson, and I really give him big tips on that. And Kirill Kaprizov, he's just been a stud for the Wild as well.
Yeah, I mean, and you can thank Guerin for he was the first general manager that could get Kaprizov to come over. They had
Yeah.
tried several times before that. Fenton and Chuck Fletcher, all of those guys. Now it could have all worked together like that. There was reasons why. I don't know. He had family concerns. He's making a lot of money in the KHL there, and he wants to make sure his family's taken care of, and that's understandable.
Yeah.
But he did woo him over here, and he has been absolutely fantastic. And he made some moves that were kind of like, okay, let's see how that works out. Like Benino, and brought that veteran leadership to the team, and it seems to be panning out. Capo
Hmm.
Kakinen has been a guy that they've really been touting for quite a while now, so can't really pin that on Guerin himself. Uh,
And also Zuccarello has been great as well. 21 points in 22
yeah,
games. A guy that was
and that was
kind of talked
that
about
was
as being a bad
that was
contract. He's
Fenton
been
that did
great.
that.
Yeah, yeah. Zuccarello was kind of like the last attempt at making this team a playoff team, and he's been amazing this year.
Yeah,
Same with Joel Eriksson Ek, and Kevin Fiala has been kind of popping off in these last little bit. They're not a big goal scoring team, but you look at that defense, it's just they played like a squad that knows how to win. They brought that winning culture in there, and it's been translating into some big success there in Minnesota.
And from what I understand, the plan is to protect four defensemen. They don't want to lose Dumba. He has
No,
decided
you
not to
can't.
lose Dumba, which
I
is
mean, that defensive core is solid. You might as well keep him. He's been great for that team, so might as well continue
so.
with
If they
him.
protect four defensemen, that means they only protect four forwards, though.
But that doesn't matter. You really don't need to protect too many forwards because the fact a lot of your guys are on 1 year deals. So and I don't know if Kaprizov will need to be protected either because he was a rookie this year. You might need to, but you protect Kaprizov, or I think Parise has, he has a no movement. No, I think he just has a no trade clause. I think so. You could possibly maybe even get Seattle to maybe take Zach Parise maybe as well, but I don't know. It's gonna be
Oh,
it's gonna be a weird expansion draft for Minnesota.
yeah.
They just cannot do what they did last time and trade away young players.
No, I think you'd have to drop a pretty high pick to get them to take Parise off your
Oh,
hands.
Parise has a no movement
And he
clause
and he
anyway.
would
Same
have
with
to he would
Zuccarello.
have to agree to it as well, which he almost did with the island there, the New York Island. He did actually. Apparently, he
Yeah,
said he would get traded to the New York Islanders, but it didn't work out. Was something there? I don't know what it was. I think it was something to do with Ladd. Whatever. Maybe he didn't pass the physical because he's been gone forever now.
yeah.
There in the island. So, but I did want to mention before we head out because we got 4 minutes since we started talking about coaches and guys that are in that Barry Trotz, Tortorella type area, and we got to put. I think we got to start putting Paul Maurice in that language too.
I think so too.
Um, in that category, I got Colaton in Chicago. To me, is if they make the playoffs, that's a slam dunk that he. I think for sure because there is like nobody had Chicago in the playoffs this year. Nobody.
Yeah, I think Colleton will be able to, bring that home as well. But I don't know. There's a lot of good coaches this year that you've seen
Quinn and the
with
Rangers.
Evanson and Quinn. I mean, but I think it's mostly because that AHL coach that came in and started coaching for them. I was seeing the analytics, and Quinn's not been doing too bad this year. But the AHL coach, when Quinn got out with the COVID protocol, when the AHL coach came in, that's when they won that 8-3 game or something like that. I can't remember the exact score, but kind of pumping now ever since that coach kind of came up. So I don't know if maybe Quinn is not the match for New York. I don't know, or maybe it is one of his first years of coaching too. So, but there's a lot of good coaches out there from Trotz to
Bednar.
Evanson to
Bednar.
Cooper to Bednar. There's so many good coaches out there in the NHL right now that could possibly win, the Jack Adams this year. And it's going to be fun to
Q,
see who wins it.
Q in Florida certainly has to have be in there in the
Yeah,
conversation. I think they're kind of. I
yeah.
think those. I think Everson, Quinville, and Colaton are all probably the front runners right now off the top of my head. And I personally would have to give it to Colaton myself. I love Q and what he's done there. It's tight, right? Tight.
I
Simply
think
because
I think I think maybe
I
Quenville.
think Colaton is doing it with a younger group.
Yeah,
So I slightly give it to him because you got
but
Hornquist and you got a lot of guys.
Florida has performed off the wall though. They weren't even expected to be this good, and Quenville has just kind of made this team, a really really good team.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a
What
tough
might
decision.
prevent Colaton from getting it is Lankinen being like he could win the Vesna seriously the way he's playing right now.
Yeah,
Lankinen
yeah,
could win the Vesna and get Rookie of the Year at the same time. Because if he wins the Vesna, you got to give him the Rookie of the Year. I mean,
yeah, without a
so,
doubt.
anyways, here we are. We made her. We got to
Woo.
the last minute of the fine programming here. Thanks all of you for coming in. Again, I hit 700 followers in my on my channel today, and I'm really happy about that. Both both Peyton and I are striving for 1,000 right now. We want to hit 1,000. That's
Heck
kind of
yeah.
a big marker in the YouTube world. It's when you can start monetizing your channel and you can start getting with that new thing that they have there that John gets like floods of people coming to him all the time, where you can be like an extra subscriber. I did it for him. What's it called?
Oh
A
yeah.
member. You become a member of
Yeah.
the channel.
Member. Yep.
Yeah, you
Yep.
can start doing that and all kinds of stuff like that. So if you know anybody out there, just grab their phone and just get them, just take it,
Get them to
subscribe to the
subscribe
channel, and just give it back. Give it back to
and
them.
tell them to watch us.
Tell your whole family, yeah, tell your whole family, everybody, stand up in your school auditorium.
Yeah, go on the PA system and say subscribe to Peyton on the Radio and Perlo
With
Wisdom, two of the greatest gentlemen out there.
yes,
Go
the
subscribe to them,
greatest humans in the land.
without a doubt.
Without a doubt. And you guys are all the greatest humans in the land too, because you're here. You're the cool kids. You are the
Damn
ones we
right.
hang out by the bike racks, for sure.
Oh
Every
yeah.
single one of you.
Oh yeah.
We love you all. Anyways, Peyton, what do you got going, buddy?
This week I got some. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing a live play-by-play between the Wild and the Vegas Golden Knights, so that should be a fun one. And I uploaded a couple new videos today, the new OGR, and also my new Columbus Blue Jackets franchise mode. I uploaded another episode for that, so
Sweet.
yeah, it's going to be a fun rest of the week. I'm just going to be relaxing and getting ready to go back to
Do you
school.
have Line A in your franchise mode? Probably not, right?
Oh
You
yeah,
do.
yeah, oh yeah. Line A's on fire, baby. If you want to go see him actually do good, go check out that.
he played.
He's ripping
He
it up.
actually played well against. He did. He did play well. He had a couple
Yeah.
of.
He's been struggling the last little bit, but that's goal scorers for you. Goal scorers struggle
Yeah.
tremendously. They some games they go off the wall, sometimes they
He'll,
don't. And Line A's consistency is a
he'll
problem.
start. He'll probably put like eight goals in 12 games down or something like that here soon.
Sooner or later.
But anyways, you can also check my video too, the one I do, my picks. I do them every day, and I'll be back here. You go check out the one that I just did because it's really funny. I mentioned you guys in there, so watch it. I mentioned UCL today. I did. I know.
Oh,
Yes, I did. So go watch it. And I always talk about the goat all the time. And I'll put you in there, Peyton, too. Everybody. We're going to talk about
awesome.
everybody. And I'll be here 3 to 5 up until
Woo.
Friday every day. And I know you'll all be here. Rickett just slips in with the wild 4-3. Rickett just slips in under the wire. 4-3 wild.
Ooh.
Okay, guys.
Right under the wire.
That's it. That's all we got today. That's our full 42. Have a great day, everybody. Lots of love to you. Okay, bye.
See ya.
All right, bud. That was